Hi, I'm Kathleen Byram. I'm author of Conversations with Donkey, a Bipolar Journey. Today I want to talk about something unusual, and that is being pregnant. I would like to tell you about my experiences with it and the birth. I have one child, Sean, and I think he was born in 89, so I think he's about 36 now. He was a wonderful child. He was calm and pleasant and logical and emotional too, and just a wonderful kid who listened and was considerate and was smart and was just lovely. I thought he was just a lovely child and baby. So my pregnancy was mostly in a bad situation. This was back in 89, and I was obese, a smoker and drinker, and of course mentally ill, but I didn't realize it really at the time. And I met someone who I desperately wanted to have a child with. And I purposely, intentionally tried. I did not have any business doing this because I had no money and no security. It was a very foolish thing to do, but I'm glad that he's here. Anyway, my life was hell, but the pregnancy did not cause that. I had a wonderful pregnancy. I do not believe I had any sickness, morning sickness. I don't believe I had that with him. And it was a very pleasant feeling of feeling like I could detect his personality. And it was like it was very calm and peaceful. And there was something else there that I can't quite explain. That's I can't put my finger on what the word is, but it's a good thing. And I felt his presence like that. It didn't become really real to me until about the 4th month. I felt and saw the movement on my belly. I was laying in the tub and I looked down at my tummy and it went bloop. He was kicking, and I'd never felt that before. And his father came in and I said, "Come and look." And he was blown away. was his only child. And this was really something for him. My pregnancy was hard because of life being hard. The pregnancy itself was fine. The only thing that was wrong was that we were poor and I did not get good health. So I took prenatal vitamins. Prenatal, is that the word? I took vitamins and for pregnant women. And my eating habits were terrible because we didn't have food. And this went on. It was hot in the house. There was no air conditioning. There was no hot water. It was a ridiculous living situation. And we were crazy, and we didn't have good sense. You know, we could have gone downstairs and seen if we could have fixed the water situation. It may have been a pilot light out or something like that, and we didn't even know it. We were messed up in the head. And around the 8th month or so, my son's father had some trouble and had to be separated from me. He was down in Evansville and I was in Indianapolis. And I couldn't stay there anymore. I had to leave because we weren't paying the rent. We weren't making it financially. And part of that may have been because of me. So, around that time, my mother came and got me. And she brought my cousin Jeremy. And boy, was I happy to see them, especially Jeremy. Of course, my mom. I love my mom, but I love Jeremy too. And it was so nice to see him. I felt like they were there to rescue me. They really did rescue me from a terrible situation. And they did all the work because I was just too lame and tired and depressed and just bleh. And they got the stuff out of there and into the station wagon or van. I can't remember which one we rode in now. But it seems like it was August, and it was hot. And we had air conditioning, and I was so stunned by the wonderfulness of the air conditioning. And then we went to, it may have been Waffle House or Denny's or someplace like that, and it was so to sit in a soft booth, air-conditioned room, and pick out whatever I wanted to eat and eat it. I don't even remember what I had, but I know it must have been so good. And so I went back down to Indiana, in southern Indiana, and stayed with my parents until I had Sean. I drove from southern Indiana 2.5 hours or so to work every day, 8 months pregnant, until I went into labor. The time there was terrific. Another factor was that my father was drinking, and when my father drank, he emoted and he talked to me, and that was what I liked. And so I had a very good experience there, talking with him late at night. Unfortunately, it was hard on Mom because she didn't sleep well with noises going on, and we disturbed her, and I feel bad about that now. But I remember right before I went into labor, we went to Burger King that night, and I think we saw a movie. I don't remember the movie. I just remember that being with Dad and him being in a good mood and everything. And it was just so wonderful. And it gives me such a happy feeling thinking about it. And that night, in the middle of the night, I got up and I thought I was having an irritable bowel syndrome attack, because I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And it wasn't a harsh one. It was just a mild one. And I went into the restroom, and I waited and waited and waited, and nothing was happening. And it didn't get worse. You know, it would tend to get worse and worse and worse until there was poof, explosion. And for lack of a better description, sorry about that. And nothing happened. And hours later, it finally occurred to me, hey, Sean is due soon. This could be it. And I went and woke up my dad. Remember, we were 2.5 hours down south in southern Indiana, and the hospital was up in Indianapolis. So I woke him up. He didn't think I was in labor, probably because it didn't seem like labor. It just seemed like an IBS cramp that wasn't that bad. And so I was used to that. I was used to terrible pain from IBS. It was horrible. And so that's, I think, what made it such a great experience for me, because I never was in pain. We rode up to Indianapolis in the car, and I tried to sleep the whole time, and Dad kept waking me up wanting me to count my contractions. And it was very pleasant. We got there, everything went nicely and well. And my mother was not living with us all the time. She was staying in her building sometimes where she had a medical equipment business. And she got the message on the phone because she was sleeping down at the building where we had another home there. And she was rushing to get there. And the cop stopped her, and he said, "Lady, you're blowing everyone off the road." And she said, "My daughter's having a baby." And guess when she got there? She got there just as he was coming out and pulling him up, and she burst through the door, and there he was, being pulled out. Can you imagine? It's almost 15 minutes now, and I need to go, but I may do another one of these as a second part to tell you more about it. It was so wonderful. Anyway, like and subscribe and comment if you can, please. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.